Hey guys, welcome back to the Snapring Chronicles. Today we're coming back at you with a bit of a, Ratchet video, but kind of examining the timeline of Plum Proto as far as these ratchets are concerned. These are the famous 5449s from Plum Proto. And this ratchet has been kicking around this design for about 85 years, and if you go to Amazon today you can still find this ratchet, which will look pretty much like this over here. But before we jump into it, if you can do me a big favor and hit the subscribe button, and also like this video if you find this type of content at all interesting or maybe entertaining, I would appreciate it. Okay. So I just want to take a look at kind of a close timeline here between Plum and Proto and more modern Proto. This was probably one of the nicest Plum ratchets, especially the lettering from that period. This was from mid to late 40s, just as Plum was about to change their name in the late 40s to Proto. And here we can see another example, and this is when they changed their name to Proto, and they still kind of kept the pebbled background a little bit, but we'll look into that in a second. If you look at this pebbled background here, you see is nice fine pebbling, nice big strong lettering here. The back the same, the fine pebbling and the nice strong letters. A little bit different font you're gonna see in a second. And this didn't last long. I think, like I said, they did this style of pebbling according to Alloy Artifacts, I think from the mid to late 40s, so a few years. And then they switched to Proto, and I guess early on in Proto they tried to keep the pebbling maybe very not too long at all, maybe a year, if that. They kept pebbling, because soon after they went to this with no pebbling at all. But if we see, there's some changes here from this one. This one has like a flat handle here. It's flat from beginning to end, and here you see it kind of starts out as flat and then it gets rounded over here, kind of like that. So you can see they're kind of moving in that direction, and these are a little bit the size is a little bit different. This one is just slightly longer than this one, and this one is just slightly longer than that one. So, and this one had that old switch, which was from Plum's from the early 40s up, I guess, into when they switched up. This one had no lettering on the plates, just a plain plate, and very nicely machined. I really like this style of ratchet, and the letters, I've said always before, the letters always hit me as being kind of futuristic. Even by today's standards, they look pretty futuristic. When we go here, you see the Proto is kind of, they're switching the font a little bit. They're doing more like a regular font on over here as opposed to over here. Less stylized, and it's missing, well, with the Plum, it's missing, of course, the Plum symbols. And if we hit the back and we go to this back, you see the letters are changing, the numbers. You see how this 9 is kind of more like a roundish, and this one's more like a square 9 there. And this 5 looks kind of like an S almost. And here you see the regular numeral, less stylized 5. And the pebbling, of course, also. You see how fine the pebbling is here. You see how coarse the pebbling is there. So there's that. And then they started putting, marking the plates. They put the model number here, and they also put it on the plate. And this is early Proto, so Los Angeles was kind of on their plates. Los Angeles and small manufactured USA and Proto. And this is more what you would see now. They went with a round, all knurled handle. This one's been beat up. And the knurling is pretty good. It's nice knurling. No more flat, no more pebble. They just went with this rounded. See, the handle is rounded all the way around here. And they just went with 449 Proto, manufactured USA. Some plates, different errors. You see professional, different wording there, but mostly you see professional, something manufactured USA, maybe professional. But I think later on they added the name professional. And the switches on these are very similar. You see they look the same as opposed to this, which had kind of just a flat leaf that's kind of bubbled at the tip, which they probably hammered into a bubble there. This looks more cast than anything. So pretty much unchanged in the 85 years, the mechanisms themselves. One interesting thing I found in this one, which I thought was strange, and I don't know if it's particular to these early Protos, was this one. Someone added a screw that didn't come with the ratchet. Kind of a flat head screw there. This one looks like it possibly could be original. Not sure. And if we look inside this one, let me just open this one here, just for comparison. Not sure if these are original either. They kind of have these, I don't know, these serrated inside portion of the screw, I guess to keep the screws from coming loose. I'm not sure if that's stock or someone added that later on, these type of screws. That one, whoops, the plate just came out. That one also has the same type of screw. Okay, here's the gear. And here's the mechanism of this one. The strange part about this one is, let me take one of these. here. Take one of these pawls out. And interesting is that this pawl has two protrusions on either side, which makes them, I guess, ambidextrous. So you can put one on that side, and if you switch them up, you can put this one on this side. See the two protrusions. And oh boy. Okay. If we look at the regular, at a regular pawl, where did that one go? Okay. You look at a regular pawl, this is from that one. And a regular pawl, it just has one protrusion, as opposed to two on this pawl. So this one, you could only put it in one way. This one has to be the one on the left, the pawl on the left. This one you can put in either way. I'm not sure when they went with this and why they stopped, because this is a later model. This is that model. And let me open this one up. And this is an earlier Plum model, which predates both of these. And you would think maybe, oh well, this one probably has maybe this double pronged pawl, but no, the earlier models had just let me get these parts. Hopefully I don't want to mix them up. Let me grab this pawl out of this Plum. And if we look at the older Plum, it has the same style pawl as the newer Plum, but this one that was kind of in between has the pawl with the double protrusions, which are ambidextrous. This is the older Plum pawl. I don't know, just thought that was kind of interesting that at some point they had an ambidextrous pawl. They manufactured this kind of ambidextrous pawl, but they didn't go with it because later on models all have the single, the non-ambidextrous pawl. And I think later on models, I've never seen it except for this one. I've never seen an ambidextrous pawl like this one in the 5449s. But yeah, that's just this is just some of the differences in the look and manufacture, I guess, of the infamous or famous, I wouldn't say infamous, I guess it's infamous because it's pretty old design, the 5449s, and the smaller ones, the 3/8 and the 1/4 inch versions. They've been around for so long and they're still running, and even through so many mergers and acquisitions in Proto throughout the years, I think today they still I think they're owned by Stanley, but they still make tools in the US, and one of the tools is still the 5449. Okay guys, until next time, and by the way, have a happy Thanksgiving. Okay, see you later.